Bible Nuggets brings you an extensive view of alcohol consumption in relation to Christianity. Often, controversy surrounds the issue of alcohol in the church. We are going to look at what the Bible says about alcohol consumption and how we need to treat the subject. At the end of this video, I will give you a personal view on alcohol consumption based on very sensitive factors. You need to watch this video to the end if you would like to get a grip of my concept. Different Christian denominations and individuals hold different views on drinking alcohol. Some Christians hold that as long as alcohol is consumed in moderation and does not result in intoxication, it is not sinful to drink. They cite verses in the Bible that say things like, "Do not drink solely water, but take a little wine to aid your stomach, since you are ill so often," according to 1 Timothy 5 verse 23. This text is often cited to support the notion that drinking alcohol in moderation can be healthy and is therefore not sinful. Some Christians also believe that the Bible encourages the use of alcohol in certain situations, such as in celebration or to build relationships. For example, in Luke 22 verses 17 to 18, Jesus says, "And he took bread, gave thanks and broke it, and gave it to them, saying, 'This is my body given for you, do this in remembrance of me.' In the same way, after the supper he took the cup, saying, 'This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you.'" This passage is often interpreted as the celebration of the Last Supper, and the use of wine in this context is often seen as appropriate and even holy. On the other hand, some Christians believe that it is a sin to consume any amount of alcohol. They argue that the Bible warns against drunkenness and the abuse of alcohol, such as in Proverbs 20 verse 1, which states, "Wine is a mocker and beer a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise." They believe that even moderate alcohol consumption can lead to drunkenness and potentially harmful behavior and thus should be avoided. They also point out that the Bible encourages self-control and the avoidance of anything that can cause a person to lose control of their actions, such as in Galatians 5 verses 22 to 23, which states, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." In this context, they argue that consuming any amount of alcohol can cause a person to lose self-control and thus should be avoided. It is important to note that the Bible does not explicitly prohibit the consumption of alcohol, but it does warn against drunkenness and the abuse of alcohol. It is also important to consider the cultural and social context in which these passages were written, as well as one's own personal beliefs, values, and circumstances. In the end, the choice to drink or not to drink is a personal one. It should be made after giving considerable thought to one's own views and values as well as the potential negative effects of drinking. It's crucial to keep in mind that Christianity forbids intoxication. Additionally, drinking should be avoided because it can have several detrimental effects, including a lack of self-control, accidents, and even fatalities. One should be aware that drinking can be addictive. Addiction to anything in this world can be disastrous. It is important to ask oneself several questions before we make the choice to consume alcohol. Some of these questions are: between drinking and not drinking alcohol, which one is better? Are we able to behave well after alcohol consumption? How does our drinking affect our families? What time do we get home after drinking, and are our spouses happy with it? Are we leading our children by example? Does the money we spend on alcohol compromise the resources of our families? Do we become abusive when we have taken alcohol? Are our loved ones happy about our alcohol consumption and its effects on our relationship? Now, I promise to give you my opinion about alcohol consumption. Some churches are completely against alcohol, and that is what they preach. Other churches leave it upon us to decide based on the teachings. In my view, the consumption of alcohol has brought more pain than good, especially in homesteads. When it gets to this level, there is no Bible verse, no matter how much it would support alcohol, that supersedes the one that tells us to pluck off the eye that causes us to sin. That should be Matthew 5 verse 29, which says, "If your right eye causes you to sin, take it out and throw it away." It is much better for you to lose a part of your body than to have your whole body thrown into hell. The next verse in Matthew 5 verse 30 replicates the same concept using hands. So, what does this mean? We have a right to have our eyes or hands. However, if they make us sin, then we do not need them. Likewise, if alcohol consumption leads to any sin either instantly or gradually, then we do not need alcohol. In this regard, I do not even need to go into much detail. You will agree with me that alcohol has ravaged homes. It has altered the lives of the consumers and their families and put them in situations they did not expect. Alcohol has brought disunity, divorce, disease, selfishness, separation from God, and much more. Now, this is my take. Alcohol is a no for any serious Christian. Salvation and alcohol do not get along. Apart from what some parts of the Bible say, I hope this helps you make an informed decision. At the end of it all, each one of us has a manual that controls our lives. We come up with it based on our focus in the coming years. We build what we want from what we do today. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly subscribe if you haven't. Remember to hit the notification bell for prompt updates of our educative Christian content.